Hello everyone, I'm Mary from Susan's family. Today, I'll share with you the Yuanji Imperial Canopy sachet from Dunhuang series. For this electronic tutorial, you can search for en.sussudiy.com on the website to view it. This sachet includes 3 parts, the main part, the motif, and the accessories. Let's start with the main part. The main part is crocheted on an acrylic board, and you need to switch colors while crocheting. The stitches used include chains, single crochets, half double crochets, double crochets, treble crochets, SC 2-in-1, and DC 3-in-1. Now, let's show. Here, I'll demonstrate using one of the color schemes. For specific yarn and hook sizes, please refer to the detail page of our product and the paper instructions. First, let's start crocheting. Before we start, let's observe. The acrylic board has a protective film on both sides. Peel off the protective film first, just exposing the holes. After all the crocheting is finished, then peel off the excess part. This prevents scratching the acrylic board during the crochet process. As you can see, it's now settled. Now, let's start crocheting. We take out the corresponding yarn. Insert the hook into any hole. There's no need to distinguish the right side from the wrong side for this acrylic board. Leave a little yarn tail to prevent it from slipping off. Then, yarn over and draw through. Next, make a chain as the beginning chain. When crocheting, keep it even with the acrylic board. Pull the yarn through evenly. Then, continue to crochet 3 single crochets in this hole. While crocheting, you can place the yarn tail above the hook and weave it in as you go along. After completing the 3 single crochets, continue by crocheting 4 single crochets in the next hole. This completes the stitch pattern for 2 holes. Continue by repeating the pattern for the first 2 holes, which means repeat 3 single crochets and 4 single crochets. Complete this round following this pattern. Now I have completed the last hole. Then, join with a slip stitch to the first single crochet. Pull tight. The first round is complete. Continue with the second round. First, make a chain to start. Then, turn the acrylic board. As you go down, you'll encounter the oval-shaped slip stitch, which means untightened. For the circular shape, pull tight. Insert into the stitch. Work a slip stitch. This round involves repeating slip stitches that are not tightened into the stitches. Do not pull the slip stitches too tight here. Everyone, finish this round. Now I have completed the last stitch. Next, join with a slip stitch into the first slip stitch sprayed. Pull tight. The second round is complete. Move on to the third round. Make one beginning chain. Here, continue to turn over the acrylic board. We'll return to working on the right side. You can see there are braids at the back and braids in the front as well. Pick up the braids at the back and work single crochets. This round is picking up the braids at the back and working single crochets, one by one. You can work a bit slower here, it's a bit tricky to pick up. Everyone, work this round using this method. After you finish the last stitch, you can check the stitch count against the first round. See if any stitches are missed. The number of single crochets here should match the first round. Finally, join with a slip stitch and pull tight. The third round is finished. Continue to work the fourth round. This round is worked single crochet into each stitch from the third round, one by one. The method is simple. Everyone, finish this round. This is what the fourth round looks like when it's completed. Since we need to change colors for the next round, make a chain to secure. Then cut the yarn. Now, let's work on the fifth round. First, take the corresponding yarn. Hang the yarn with your left hand. Then, join at the point where you cut the yarn. Pull the yarn through. After joining, make a beginning chain. Then, crochet the single crochets one by one. Weave in the ends as you go. The number of single stitches is also marked on the diagram. Crochet them. After crocheting the corresponding number of single stitches, you will encounter a SC2 in 1. This means making 2 single stitches in the same stitch. The SC2 in 1 is completed. Continue by crocheting the corresponding number of single stitches. Pay attention to the number of single stitches here, is different from before. After crocheting, continue with another SC2 in 1. There are still some stitches left. Crochet single stitches one by one. Finally, join with a slip stitch and pull tight. The 5th round is completed. Since the next round requires a color change, secure with a chain. Cut the yarn. Next, crochet the 6th round. First, join the yarn. At the same position where you cut it. After joining, work 1 single crochet, then 1 chain. This chain corresponds to the stitch below. Skip this stitch. Work 1/2 double crochet into the next one. Then 1 chain. Skip 1 stitch. Work a double crochet into the next stitch. Continue with 1 chain. Skip all the stitches that chains corresponds, do not crochet. Next is 1 treble crochet, wrap the yarn twice around the hook. Thread it through the stitch. Draw the yarn through. Continue yarn over. And pull through once. Twice. 3 times, a treble crochet is complete. After completing, work another chain. Then a double crochet. One chain. 1/2 double crochet. 1 chain. 1 single crochet. 1 chain. We consider the stitches which from the first single crochet to this chain as pattern A. The rest is repeating pattern A. Just pay attention to the following. When starting the next pattern A, we don't need to skip any stitches. Work on the next stitch. Keep crocheting. Finish the last chain. Round 6 is complete. Continue with round 7. No need to break the yarn for this round. 1 beginning chain. For the pattern A, work single crochets correspondingly, one by one. When you encounter a stitch, work in it. When you encounter a chain, work in the chain space. Keep crocheting until the last chain left from pattern A. I have now reached the corresponding position. There is one chain left for pattern A. Continue by working one chain. This round is work single crochets in all the other stitches, except for the last chain stitch for pattern A. For the last chain stitch, work one chain. Work single crochets in all other stitches. Everyone, finish this round. Finish the last chain. Join with a slip stitch. Fasten off the yarn. The 7th round is completed. For the 8th round, use gold yarn. The color of the gold yarn varies depending on the design. Divide the gold yarn evenly into 2 parts. Then combine the strands to crochet. Now let's crochet. Align the yarn. Locate the first single crochet on the left side of where cut the yarn. Join the yarn here. The method for joining is the same. After joining, start working single crochets. Until there is one single crochet left before the first chain stitch. Now I have reached the corresponding position. Next, work DC 3 in 1. Insert the hook into the stitch on the 5th round, where the single crochet on the left side of the chain made. In this single crochet stitch, where we insert, work a DC 3 in 1, that is, crochet 3 double crochets in the same stitch. DC 3-in-1 is completed. We consider the stitches which from the first single crochet to the DC 3-in-1, pattern B, continue repeat, pattern B. Skip the single crochet stitch at the corresponding position on the left side. Continue to crochet single crochets. Move on. Everyone complete this round using this method. The 8th round is completed. Fasten off the yarn. Move on to the 9th round. Take the corresponding yarn. Find the stitch on the right side, where the yarn was cut. Join the yarn here. After joining, make 4 chains as a beginning chain. Treat these 4 chains as 1 treble crochet, then chain 1 as a bridge. 1 double crochet. Remember to skip 1 stitch. One chain. Skip all the stitches below the chain. 1 half double crochet. One chain. 1 single crochet. 1 chain. 1 half double crochet, 1 chain. One double crochet. 1 chain. 1 treble crochet. Worked it into the right stitch of the DC 3-in-1. Followed by 1 chain. Work all the way around. Finish by slip stitch with the 4th chain stitch of the beginning chain. Round 9 completed. For rounds 10 to 13, refer to the previous demonstration. Complete all the remaining rounds. Remember to switch colors. That completes the main part. Now let's look at the motif. The motif begin with the adjustable magic ring. Crochet in rounds counterclockwise, switching colors while crocheting. New stitches include DC 2-in-1, HDC 3-in-1, SC2 tog. Now watch me demonstrate the specific crochet method. First, start with an adjustable magic ring. That sets up the ring. Then chain 1 for the beginning chain. Then work 5 single crochets in the ring. After that, close the ring. Then join with a slip stitch to the first single crochet. Now I'll show you how to find the first stitch. We count from the braid underneath this loop. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Which is right here. Join with a slip stitch. Slightly tighten. First round is complete. Continue to the second round. First, chain 1 as the beginning chain. Then work at SC2 in 1. SC2 in 1 completed. Work at SC2 in 1 in each stitch. Then, join with a slip stitch to the first stitch. Since the next round requires a color change, secure with a chain. Cut the yarn. Weave in the starting end. Second round is complete. Continue to the third round. First, join the yarn. We will join from where we cut the yarn. After joining, chain 1 as the beginning chain. Then work a single crochet. Remember to warp the yarn tail. One SC2 in 1. This round is repeating 1 single crochet and 1 SC2 in 1. Complete this round. End with 1 SC2 in 1. Third round is complete. Continue to the fourth round. Don't cut the yarn for this round. We can see individual stitches. with 2 loops in front and back. For this round, pick up the back loop to crochet. First, crochet a loose slip stitch to transition. Insert into the back loop of the first stitch. This transitions the yarn to here. Work 3 chains. Continue by crocheting 1 double crochet into this stitch. This also increase 1 stitch. Then, 1 double crochet picking up the next back loop. This round is all picking up the back loop to crochet. I won't repeat the instructions after this. After completing, crochet a DC 2-in-1. A DC 2-in-1 means working 2 double crochets into the same stitch. One, 2, 1 DC 2-in-1 is completed. Continue to crochet a DC 2-in-1. After completing 2 DC 2-in-1, work 1 double crochet. For this round, follow the pattern of 2 DC 2-in-1, followed by 1 double crochet. The 4th round is completed. Now move on to the 5th round. First, chain 2. Then, crochet 1 double crochet into the same stitch. Crochet 1 treble crochet in the next stitch. In the following stitch, crochet 3 stitches. First, crochet 1 double crochet. Then, crochet 1 single crochet in the same stitch. Continue by crocheting 1 double crochet here. Then, another treble crochet follows. Then, in the next stitch, crochet 1 double crochet, followed by 2 chains, and 1 slip stitch. Still in the same stitch of the double crochet made. Then 1 chain. Moving on. Continue by 1 slip stitch. Transition to the next stitch, then 2 chains. 1 double crochet in the same stitch. 1 treble crochet. Then repeat the previous pattern. Continue down. The last chain stitch. Then in the entry position of the slip stitch from the previous round, crochet 1 slip stitch, fasten off yarn. The 5th round is completed. Next, start the 6th round. Find the 2 chain space on the left where the yarn was cut. Attach the yarn to this chain space. After attaching, make 1 beginning chain, then work 1 single crochet in this chain space. Next, work at SC2 in 1 in the next double crochet stitch. Work another SC2 in 1 in the following stitch. Then come to the point where you have 3 stitches made. Work 1 single crochet in the double crochet stitch. Work 1 loose slip stitch in the single crochet stitch. Continue with 1 single crochet in the next stitch. Then encounter the treble crochet stitch. Work at SC2 in 1. In the stitch of the double crochet, work 1 SC2 in 1. Then come to the chain space. Pick up this chain space, work 1 single crochet. Then 2 chains. Followed by 1 slip stitch. Pay attention to where the slip stitch made. Insert the hook into the 3rd round. This is the beginning chain. Single crochet, SC2 in 1, single crochet. Pick up the back loop of this single crochet. The insertion point is here. On the single crochet, then work a loose slip stitch. After crocheting, continue with 2 chains. Moving down to the next pattern. The crocheting method is the same as this pattern. Start with a single crochet in the chain space. Work one single crochet in the chain space. Then 2 SC2 in 1. For this round, pay attention to where the slip stitch made. Crochet all the way down this round. Ending with 2 chains. 1 slip stitch. Note that the slip stitch in the first stitch of the third round. Then 2 chains. Then join with a slip stitch to the first single crochet. Fasten off the yarn. This is what it looks like after completing the 6th round. Now let's continue with the 7th round. Take the corresponding yarn. First, find the joining position. Join the yarn on the chain stitch in the middle of the 5th round, which is wrapped here. Right here. The chain stitch in the middle of the 5th round. We need to insert the hook into this chain space from behind. Then joining the yarn. After joining, make 3 beginning chains. 1 chain as a bridge. Continue with 1 double crochet here. Followed by 3 chains. Then 1 slip stitch. Followed by 1 slip stitch into the 4th rounds. The middle double crochet stitch between DC2 in 1s. Pick up any thread behind it. Work a slip stitch. In the position slightly above the middle. Continue with 3 chains. Then pick up the middle chain space of the 5th round. Start with 1 double crochet. One chain. 1 double crochet. 1 chain. Continue with 1 double crochet. Then 3 chains. And similarly, 1 slip stitch on the behind this left double crochet stitch. Pick up any thread behind it. Work a slip stitch. 3 chains. And repeat. Working this stitch pattern. Work in the middle chain space of the 5th round. And in the middle double crochet between the 2 DC2 in 1 in the 4th round. Pick up a thread behind it and work a slip stitch. Complete this round using this method. If you can't find this chain stitch, you can adjust it. Finally, join with a slip stitch to the 3rd chain of the beginning chain. The 7th round is completed. Now let's work on the 8th round. This round also doesn't require breaking the yarn. First, chain 3. Then work 2 half double crochets in the same stitch. Next, work a slip stitch into this chain space. Then work a HDC 3 in 1, which means work 3 half double crochets in the same stitch. One, 2, 3. HDC 3 in 1 is completed. Then we come to the 3 chains on the left side. Work a slip stitch here. Then chain 3. Continue with a slip stitch in the next chain space. Then we come to the 3 double crochet stitches. Work 1 HDC 3 in 1 on the first stitch. Then work a slip stitch in the chain space. Finish with 2 half double crochets. Then join with a slip stitch to the beginning chain. Fasten off the yarn. The 8th round is completed. After completing this round, you can weave in the ends. Continue to the 9th round. This is where we just cut the yarn. We will join the yarn here. After joining, work at SC2 and 1. Then, work a single crochet into each of the next 2 half double crochet stitches. Then work a slip stitch. The placement of this slip stitch is a bit special. This is where the slip stitch was made in the previous round. We need to pick up these 2 strands in front. To work a slip stitch, then work a single crochet into each of the next 3 half double crochet stitches. Note: don't miss the first half double crochet stitch here. Then work a slip stitch. Locate the placement of this slip stitch. On the 5th round, you can see there is a treble crochet here. We will pick up any strand behind it. To work a slip stitch, then continue with another slip stitch. This slip stitch worked into this 3 chain space. Continue with a slip stitch behind the treble crochet on the left. Pick up any strand to work it. After completing 3 slip stitches, we'll move on the left side. First, there are 3 half double crochet stitches. Correspondingly, make 3 single crochets. Next is another slip stitch. The placement of this slip stitch is special. Still, pick up the 2 strands of slip stitch from the previous round. Then continue. Work 2 single crochets over the 2 half double crochet stitches. Mind not to miss any stitches here. On the middle double crochet stitch, work 1 SC2 in 1. Two single crochets. Continue with 1 slip stitch. Pick up 2 strands. Then, 3 single crochets. After completing, follow with 3 continuous slip stitches in the same placement, respectively behind the 2 treble crochets on either side, and in this chain space. Move on. Everyone, work the entire round using this method. Up to this point, the 9th round is completed. Next, work round 10. This is where you cut the yarn. We can see there are these 2 obvious strands at the back. Which is the previous slip stitch? We will join the yarn with these 2 strands. After joining, make 6 chains. Then, chain 1 as beginning chain. Next, pick up the front loop from the second chain to hook. Start working single crochets one by one. We will work all the way down with 6 single crochets. When making the last stitch, do it carefully. Pay attention to prevent the yarn from slipping off. After completing 6 single crochets, continue by working a slip stitch at the joining position. Pull tight. Then, make 7 chains. After completing, continue with 6 chains. Then, chain 1 as beginning chain. The technique downward is the same as before. Work 6 single crochets one by one. After completing 6 single crochets, then find the 2 obvious strands on the left side. Work a slip stitch. Here, you will have 2 posts. The rest is repeating the pattern. First, make 7 chains. Then continue with 7 more chains. Start from the second chain from the hook. Crochet 6 single crochets evenly into the back loops. Finish with 1 slip stitch. At the next position, everyone, crochet this round following this method. Now I have completed 5 posts. Chain 3. Then 1 treble crochet at the joining point. Up to this point, the 10th round is finished. Continue to crochet the 11th round. No need to cut the yarn for this round. First, chain 1 as a beginning chain, then work 2 single crochets. Coming down to the post, you can see that there are 2 strands left unworked. Find the lowest single crochet. This is where it made. We will work into each placement where single crochet made. First, work 3 double crochets. Then 2 treble crochets. For the last stitch, work 1 double crochet and 1/2 double crochet. On the left side, there is the chain. Pick up the back loop of this chain. And work 1 single crochet, 2 chains, followed by 1 single crochet in the same stitch. This completes the corner. Next, we come to the single crochet stitches. The stitches here is symmetrical to the other side. First, work 1/2 double crochet, continue in the same stitch, work 1 double crochet, then 2 treble crochets, three double crochets, This completes the small leaf. Next, in this chain space, work 3 single crochets. After 3 single crochets, continue with the small leaf. Note the placement of the lowest single crochet, which is where you start working. Make sure not to miss any stitches. Three double crochets, 2 treble crochets, and the last one is a double crochet, and 1/2 double crochet together. Then pick up the back loop of the beginning chain, and work 1 single crochet, 2 chains. Continue with 1 single crochet, and then crochet symmetrically. Two treble crochets, three double crochets, and you'll encounter the chain space. Work 3 single crochets. And then finish this round. After the last single crochet, join with a slip stitch. Fasten off the yarn. Round 11 is complete. Now, move on to round 12. Starting from where you cut the yarn. After joining the yarn, work 1 single crochet, and then work a SC2 tog. The entry positions are at the single crochet on the left side, and the double crochet stitch next. First, work an incomplete single crochet, insert the hook into the stitch. Draw the yarn through. This is an incomplete single crochet. Continue to work 1 more, insert into the next stitch, then draw the yarn through. Now there are 3 loops on the hook. Pull through at once. A SC2 tog is completed. For next 3 stitches, work single crochets in each one. Then 2 SC2 in 1. Continue with 2 more single crochets. Then you reach the 2 chain space. Work in it. 1 single crochet, 2 chains. Continue with 1 single crochet. Work symmetrically downward. First 2 single crochets. Then 2 SC2 in 1. Three single crochets. Followed by a SC2 tog. Start with 2 incomplete single crochets. Yarn over and pull through twice. Another SC2 tog completed. 1 single crochet. Followed by repeating the pattern. Start with a SC2 tog. Then 3 single crochets. Two SC2 in 1. Two single crochets. For the chain space, work 1 single crochet, 2 chains. Continue with 1 single crochet here. Followed by 2 single crochets. Then 2 SC2 in 1. Three single crochets. One SC2 tog. Then complete this round. The last stitch is SC2 tog. Then join with a slip stitch. Fasten off the yarn. Round 12 is completed. Now let's start round 13. This round requires thin wire. Fold the thin wire in half. And work it as 2 strands. Set it aside. Then start joining the yarn. It's the position where we cut the yarn. Locate the joining point for round 13. Find the 3 slip stitches from the round 9. which is the edge of this round. Start crocheting on the middle slip stitch. Go through both it and the back stitch. Draw the yarn through. Then chain 1. Crochet 1 single crochet into both stitches. Then place the thin wire above the hook. Wrap it in as you go. 1 single crochet. Then work at SC2 tog. There's no need to crochet on the 9th round. Directly crochet on the 12th round. For the next 2 stitches, work at SC2 tog. While crocheting, keep the thin wire above the hook. Wrap it in. Work single crochets evenly for the remaining stitches. Remember to wrap in the thin wire. Then we come to the chain space. Here in the space, work a single crochet, 2 chains. Continue with a single crochet. Next, work single crochet for each stitch. For the last single crochet stitch and the SC2 tog stitch, work at SC2 tog. Followed by another single crochet. Pick up the stitches, both in the middle of the 3 slip stitches and in the back. To work a single crochet, followed by another SC2 tog. Note that the wire is always wrapped, followed by working single crochets correspondingly. Everyone follow this method. Complete this round. Finish joining with a slip stitch. Fasten off the yarn. You can see there's extra thin wire left behind. Here we will rotate the wire. Then cut it off. You can use a tool to help here. And hide it behind. You don't have to follow my method, as long as you hide it well. Up to this point, the 13th round is finished. You can weave in the ends. And continue with the 14th round. This is where we cut the yarn. We count from where we cut to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and attach the yarn to the 5th stitch from the end. After attaching the yarn, we start working single crochets. We continue crocheting until we reach the chain space. Now we're at the chain space. In this chain space, we make a single crochet. Continue with another single crochet. Then one chain. Then pick up the 2 threads in front of the below single crochet stitch. Work a slip stitch. This also forms a small point. Continue by working a single crochet here. This corner has 3 single crochets. Continue crocheting single crochets downward until you reach the single crochet left before the SC2 tog. The next toe stitches are single crochet and SC2 tog. Work at SC2 tog here. Then one single crochet. Followed by another SC2 tog. After completing this SC2 tog, the next stitch is a bit special. First, work an incomplete single crochet. And an incomplete treble crochet. The insertion point is in the single crochet stitch before this SC2 tog. Right here. First, work an incomplete single crochet, then work an incomplete treble crochet. Yarn over twice. Insert into the corresponding position, pull the yarn through, continue yarn over and pull through once. And twice. You can see that this forms a small hole. After completing this stitch, continue working single crochet in each stitch. Everyone follow the previous demonstration. Continue working until the next special stitch. And then you arrive at this position again. First, work an incomplete single crochet, then work an incomplete treble crochet. First, find the entry position on the right side, which is the stitch on the right side of SC2 tog stitch. You can make a mark first. Then work an incomplete treble crochet. Yarn over, once, twice. Insert into the stitch just marked. Yarn over. The incomplete treble crochet is now completed, leaving 2 loops on the hook. Yarn over and draw through in once. Continue back to the right side. Another small hole is completed. Continue to crochet the entire round. Now there's only 1 stitch left. Work that special stitch. First, work an incomplete single crochet. Then yarn over and draw through. Then join with the first stitch. Using a slip stitch. Fasten off the yarn. The 14th round is now complete. Next, crochet the 15th round. We can see that, on the 3rd round, there were some front loops left. We will pick up these front loops to crochet. You can attach the yarn at any loop. I will start from where the yarn was joined on the third round. Here, crochet with single strand. After attaching the yarn, make 2 chains, then work 1 double crochet in the same loop. Followed by 1/2 double crochet. Move on. In the next loop work 1 slip stitch first. Then 2 chains. 1 double crochet. 1/2 double crochet. We consider the stitches from the slip stitch to the half double crochet as a group. Repeat the group. Each time starting with a slip stitch. You need to crochet 15 groups in this round. Everyone crochet them. At the joining position, finish with 1 slip stitch. Weave in the ends. That concludes all the instructions for the motif.